Hey everyone, Angela here. Life can be challenging. Trust me, I get it. However, I have learned we can either view the opposition or value the opportunity. Ponder on the problem or praise the potential. Focus on the situation or find the solution. Despite the current circumstances you're going through, I invite you to join me today as we embark on a grand adventure to discover the reasons why it's a good time to be you.
Here's the encourager herself, making every day a good day, Angela Henderson.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We are so glad you are here today. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's a good time to be you. Yes, and it is. We have an amazing show for you today. A young couple, Adam and Camilla Corson, who just decided to switch and change careers in the middle of a pandemic. Who does something like that? Well, I want to share with you, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the story of Joseph in the book of Genesis. You know, a young man, he went through a lot in his lifetime, a lot in his situation, but yet it was during the middle of a disease, during the middle of a famine, a disease of the land, whenever he made a career change. And he became second in all of the land of Egypt. But not only that, he was very productive during that time as well. So when the rest of the land was suffering and hurting, Egypt was actually being very productive. And so we're going to learn a little bit about Adam and Camilla and their story and what prompted them to make this change and how they're doing in the midst of it. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey everyone, Angela here. Just wanting to invite you to share your story with us. You know, we all have times in our lives when it just seemed like it was impossible. But then there was that moment of breakthrough. And just maybe your story was meant to be shared and imparted to be able to encourage and uplift others. Well, we would love to be able to give you that opportunity. So how about send your story into us at itsagoodtimetobeYou@gmail.com for consideration. We would love the opportunity to be able to bring you up on stage so that you can do what you were designed to do, and that was to be an encouragement to those around you. You know, sometimes you just can't make this stuff up, but when it happens, we want the world to know about it. So again, reach out to us at itsagoodtimetobeYou@gmail.com and send in that story for us to consider. And remember, it's a good time to be you. All right, everybody, are you ready for another day of Arise? Yes. That doesn't sound convincing. One more time. Yes. Arise is an amazing adventure. It has to do with personal discovery, team building, and leadership development. It's actually an acronym, and it stands for AIM, Reach, Inspire, Succeed, and Enrich. Our mission is to help each individual, each child, each teenager really begin to appreciate who they are as a person, know themselves, so then they are aware of what they have to offer and to contribute, and to do that with confidence, and to build leaders. We need leaders in our world, and it starts now. So fear has its positives as well as its negatives, okay? Today, we were working on an adventure of state management, kind of journeying into our emotions. So when you have a problem, look for the solution, okay? Don't focus so much on the issue, but look for a way to solve it.
This program's been very beneficial to our students in that they walk away after 5 sessions with a wealth of information. They come back with such a toolbox of skills that they can use within their day-to-day, within their classrooms, with their social settings, outside of school, we hope as well.
We have had the wonderful opportunity to serve at Military Magnet, at Stahl High School. We've also served at North Charleston High School. We've served at Chicora Elementary, then of course as well here at C.E. Williams. And we're open to coming to any invitation that is offered to us. We love working with 6th grade on up to 12th grade, and we just find it a pleasure to be able to pour into these young people so they can go and pour themselves out into our world.
It's just a really awesome program. I suggest, any principal that's interested to reach out to Ms. Henderson, to the Arise program, and really just check it out. It's been really great.
Welcome back, everyone. We are so glad that you are here. Now let's give a warm welcome to Adam and Camilla Corson. Come to the stage. Welcome, guys. Come on. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. Adam, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Have a seat. Camilla, it's so good to see you. Have a seat. So welcome, you guys. We are so glad that you're with us today.
Thanks for having us.
And such an interesting story that you are going to be sharing with us. That's one of the things that we like here about It's a Good Time to Be You. We always like risk takers, and we like to hear what's going on in their lives so that it can encourage us, empower us, inspire us, motivate us, because we realize that there's something inside of each one of us that we can do. And so let's just dive into your story as to how you guys did this during a pandemic. But tell me first, how did you meet, Camellia?
So we actually met in college, and we both went to the University of Rhode Island, and so he graduated a year before I was a senior, but we had all mutual friends just passing through. We were both in Greek life, so one of our mutual friends invited Adam over to my house we were having a cookout outside. It was a nice day, and so we met and we hit it off. We went on a few dates after that, and we have been inseparable since.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
My husband and I, we were a blind date, the first date, and I had actually seen a picture of him, but he had not seen me. But I knew on our second date, which happened to be the very next night, that I was going to marry that man, but I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want to scare him away.
Yeah.
So I knew I had some time. I had to work on that. But yes, it was amazing. But when you find the right one, you find the right one. So it sounds like it was love at first sight.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
that is awesome. That is great. So now how long have you guys been married?
We have been married since September 19th, so it just passed.
Gosh. Okay, so this is September 2020.
Yes.
So this is also in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes.
All right. Now, share with me, how was that in trying to plan your wedding and have your guests come during those challenging times? What was that like for you?
So planning the wedding, obviously, is very stressful. There is so many moving parts. I had an amazing wedding planner, but just being able to, or not being able to, go and meet with all the vendors, I only could meet with some. It was just kind of like harder because you have to do everything online.
Wow.
And so you're not actually seeing the things in person, you know, and so it was a little scary, but it worked out so great. The wedding was beautiful, and it was the best day of our life, besides the day you proposed. But.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
How precious. You know what? And your wedding should be one of the best days of your
Yes.
life. And so I'm so glad that you guys have made some fond memories, you know, in the midst of what we are going through, not just as a country, but as a world,
Right.
you know, what we're experiencing. So with that being said, Adam, I understand that you were the one that actually made the shift in the career. So what was that like for you guys?
Yeah, so I was working in law enforcement prior to moving here. Yeah,
Thank you so much for serving like that.
And I mean, it was a great job. There's a lot of lessons and values that I learned over those years and kind of still hold with me today. But as we started to start planning weddings and start thinking about our future and having kids and things like that, I started realizing that I'm not sure if that kind of lined up with our plan, being in like a first responder role. Just like down to like flexibility, like that was one of the biggest things, is like wanting to be like the baseball coach for the kids and things like that. So we kind of put our heads together and started thinking about ways that we could kind of work together and have that flexibility to be able to think about some of those big life events and be present for those things.
Amazing. So now you guys are living up north, and you made your way to Charleston. So when you
Yes.
came to Charleston, was that when you made the career change? Or what happened? Did you go into law enforcement and then make your career change?
So I actually went into firefighting. So I went from law enforcement to
Oh my
firefighting.
goodness. Talking about someone who likes to take risks here. Wow. Thank you, our hero.
Yeah, so I did that for a short time, and that's when I kind of realized that that kind of first responder role was kind of the same thing, long hours, kind
Yeah.
of not as present. And like I said, I mean, those jobs are amazing, and the people who do it are unbelievable. But
Yes, sir.
we kind of just thought about our values and what we wanted from life, and realized that that may not be one of our top values.
Sure. Well, I understand, and those were big risks that you were taking just with your life in general, and we do really appreciate and admire, what you as a couple, did in serving in that capacity. But in just a few minutes, we're going to go to a break, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to hear a little bit more about the transition that Adam and Camilla made in order to be able to establish the life that they wanted here in the Low Country and to begin their family. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, Angela here, just wanting to encourage you to pick up my new book. It's a good time to be you. You can find it on angeladhenderson.com or amazon.com. But this is a book that you definitely need. Let me help coach you so that you can know how to turn perils into pearls and trauma into treasures. Life is challenging, and I kind of understand that. But in the pages of this book, you are going to realize that you are created in His image. Go figure out. What about choosing joy? That should be a given. Gethsemane. Not too sure about that one, Angela. How about approved? That's something that we all want. From prison to palace. Let me show you how to get out of prison and live in the palace. Sounds of the season. You've got a season in your life, a great season ahead of you. Listen for the sound so you can pick up on it. The joys of the journey to somewhere. It's not just the destiny, but it's the joy of the journey. Hey, how about as for me and my house? You can make that declaration, and you and your family can serve the Lord. Burn the boats. Listen, if you want to take the island, you gotta burn the boats. Get rid of all your excuses and learn to fly like an eagle. You want to get this book today so that you can move forward in all the things that God has for you. Don't waste another day being down and discouraged and depressed. You got to know, my friend, that it truly is a good time to be you. Hey everyone, Angela here. Today's show is about home. And home is more than just a building, but it's a place where the relationships dwell. And a home is only as strong as its foundation. There's a story about two men, one who built his home on the sand and the other one who built his home on the rock. When the winds and the waves came in and the storms blew, the one whose home on the sand, it demolished. It was destroyed. And so I want to encourage you, build your foundation strong so you can build your home strong and your relationship strong. How do you do that? By inviting Jesus into your home. Let Him come into your relationships. And so by doing so, then you can build anything on top of that foundation, and it will truly be a home, sweet home. Now let's get back to our show. And remember, it's a good time to be you.
Welcome back, everyone. So we have with us Adam and Camilla Corson, who are sharing with us their career shift and change during a pandemic. And so, Camilla, share with me, how was this affecting you in this shift and change? You guys had come from Rhode Island. Here he was, a police officer, coming into the Low Country, stepping into first responder again with the fire department, which, by the way, I had uncles that served both in the police department as well as the fire department. And so we do really love our first responders. But there was changes taking place. So how was this affecting you?
Well, it didn't really affect me in any type of way. Obviously, I'm the biggest advocate for him being happy and pursuing what he wants to do. So, I mean, him being in any first responder role, I'm good to go with that. But obviously, there are some worries that carry along with it, being his wife. And so sometimes when he gets called out to do certain jobs or whatever, there can be some type of worries. But I don't know.
I hear you. I mean, it could be, because I remember, I think like even with the fire department, I mean, there were like 24-hour shifts or things of that nature. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and so it was a lot of I'm sure stress and anxiety, just making sure that your loved one was going to be back home, when that shift was over with. And so I could imagine that. So now tell us, Adam, from the fire department, that was not where you remained. So where did you go from there?
Yeah, so that's when I started to we kind of talked one night and explored our options and thought about what could we do to kind of live the lifestyle that we wanted to. And Camilla was working in real estate at that time, so I always heard her on the phones and dealing with clients. And when there was vacant homes, I would go look at homes with her just as kind of like a fun thing. It was kind of like a hobby in a way.
Yeah.
And from there, one day she just kind of said to me, like, why don't you get into real estate as well?
Smart thinking.
Yeah, power couple.
There you go. Yes, that is amazing. And so you ended up taking your courses, I guess, as you were also being a first responder at the same time?
I did. So I was able to do the courses online.
Wow.
So kind of do them on your own time, when you see time, things like that. So on like days off, I was able to get some of those hours in and get the course done. And then once I had the course done, I saw an opportunity to turn that into a full-time job, and we just took a leap of faith and went for it, and here we are now.
I love it. My husband and I, we used to own our own little brokerage company. And, I'm a big advocate about not just being married and then going your separate ways, throughout the day and then just coming back at the end of the day, but really doing life together. And so any husband and wife business and team, it's amazing because you can do so much more in life. Your dreams can become realities. You can really work together to move, to move mountains, so to speak, so that you can really get that life that you desire. And so he and I have always been big advocates for that. And so together, we didn't start out that way. I was in real estate and he was had his own company in manufactured housing, but then we eventually, came together. We were during the time of the big bubble of 2008, that
Right.
crash time, and learned a lot of things during that time. But it sounds like real estate was ideal for you guys because of you being a first responder. You definitely have a compassion for people. You have to have that compassion already in real estate because it happens to be probably the largest investment most people will make, and it's a very
Right.
emotional time. So what is it that you guys like most about what it is that you do in real estate?
I would say for me, it's, being able to be there for your clients. And, like you said, it's their largest investment and it's a really big asset. And so it can be really emotional. And, it is a business transaction with that. So you have to be smart in those situations. And so being that knowledgeable expert to kind of lead them through the process, go over step by step. And, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've bought 10 homes before, at the end of the day, the buyer or seller are very excited. And being able to walk them through that process and see that smile at the end when you hand them the keys, it's just so thrilling. And, it's really a blessing.
I love it. I love it. Adam, how about you?
So I was looking for something that was very rewarding too. Obviously, first responding had some good, really rewarding instances there. And real estate, you get a lot of those opportunities too. Like Camilla said, it is the biggest asset that people will likely spend in their life, but also it's the place where they're going to raise their family. So outside of like financials, just the fact that that's where they're going to raise their family, that's where all these memories are going to start. I had someone recently who that reached out to me, and they recently bought a house, and I helped them through their transaction, and they actually reached out to me and said the whole time that they were looking for 3. So
And they didn't know it at the time?
they did
Oh
not.
my
So
gosh.
they reached out to me and told me that they had a baby on the way, and they were just so happy to get into a new house and to be able to start their family. So just times like that, it's very rewarding in that sense to help people. Basically, buying a home's like a dream, and achieve that dream and to be a part of that process with them.
That is so beautiful. Well, you can definitely tell you've got a family man here because everything is directed to family. So that's wonderful. So when we come back, they are going to give us some really great advice as to how to either sell a home or purchase a home during this time of pandemic. So don't go away. Hey, as a leader, you are a broker of gifts. So So whether you are a professional, a business owner, or a ministerial leader, I would love to accompany you in transforming your ordinary staff into an extraordinary team through leadership development, team building, and personal discovery. You will learn the amazing gifts, skills, and talents that each of you have and know how to bring them together in order to do great things. So reach out to me at angeladhenderson.com and let's begin your amazing adventure today. And remember, it's a good time to be you.
Hey guys, it's Camilla.
And Adam Corson, and we're here in the set of It's a Good Time to Be You.
So we are filming this talk show and so excited, and right now is a good time to be you. It is also a good time to buy and sell real estate, and so we would love to connect with everyone on social media, and our platforms are Facebook and Instagram at Corson Charleston Realtors, and we have our website, explorecharlestonrealestate.com.
Please reach out if we can be of any help.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. And we are just learning a beautiful story with Adam and Camilla Corson and them sharing with us just having a new life altogether during a pandemic. They got married and then made some career changes. They also moved from up north here to the low country. And so what are some maybe practical tips and maybe some advice that you would give to individuals, Camilla, who are wanting to sell their home right now during the time of a pandemic?
Well, right now there's really low inventory on homes. So there's a lot of buyers out there, and there's not as many sellers that are staying on the market because homes are moving very quickly.
Yeah.
So if anyone's ever thought about selling or wanting to move or, profit a little bit on their house, right now is actually a good time, because if you have a knowledgeable real estate agent that is on top of the market, we'll be able to tell you you can make X amount in profit on your house on top of what you're going to sell it for. So, we can price it accordingly, but it's good to get your home, professionally staged, professionally cleaned, and some good photos, because obviously people are looking online.
Yeah.
And so having an agent like us to be able to give those tips and help you through the process is going to be key.
Yeah. My husband and I, we have bought and sold many homes throughout our married lifetime, the 33 years that we've been together. And, as a seller, we always felt like, this is our home, this is our castle. I mean, we should be able to get this for it,
Right.
Now, but in this market today, that's probably a more of a reality, is it not? Where you can just imagine what they're able to get for their homes, probably a little bit more, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit more, and obviously you want to price it accordingly, because if you have an agent that's on the buyer's side, they're going to say, oh, your house is overpriced
Sure.
or whatever. So you have to be consistent with comparable market around you.
Yes.
But you can make a little bit more than you would have a few years ago.
Yes, I know. As sellers, we have lots of memories in those castles, and so we have a tendency sometimes to have more value in our memories and everything, so that's good. So then, Adam, tell us then, how would you maybe advise a buyer in this market? I mean, obviously it's kind of very competitive when it comes to making an offer these days, so
Sure.
How do you work through that?
So it's a really unique time to be a buyer because of the pandemic. A lot of people are able to work from home now, so we see a lot of people from these big cities where you would kind of want a central location that are able to move to those desired locations, and Charleston is definitely one that's high on the list. So we see a lot of people coming from all over to move here, which is awesome. To help basically through this process, the interest rates are still really low, so while there's low inventory, the interest rates are really low and the market is continuing to trend up.
Okay.
So if you buy now, in a year or two, you'll likely already have some equity just because of the way the market's going.
Yeah.
So although there's not a ton of homes on the market, if you have an agent who's really on top of it and can show you homes the second that they hit the market, you still can get into a home. A lot of people are real discouraged because of the lack of inventory, but it's not necessarily a lack of inventory, it's a lack of inventory that's remaining on the market.
Okay.
So there's still a lot of inventory coming on. It's just
Okay.
moving fast.
It's moving fast.
So if you get someone who's on top of it and stays on the ball, they can get you right into that house.
That is awesome. Yes, I'm even hearing of homes that are listed like in one day, and on that first day, sometimes there may be 4 offers,
Yeah.
you know, that are being presented.
Or
People
30.
are. Or 30?
Or 30.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's going up to 30. Oh my Lord.
Yep.
I could imagine, you know, so sellers are really having a good time these days, I guess. You know, the world is their oyster right now. But a comment that you made, which kind of stuck with me, was about Charleston is a hot in the market right now. People are wanting to come here. Why do you think that is?
I think just because it's a smaller city, you kind of lose a lot of the hustle and bustle, but you still have a lot of the fun things, and the city has a lot of personality with all the food and beverage and everything, kind of the old feel. It's just a really beautiful city. I tell buyers all the time, especially people coming from big cities where they're renting and they're paying a lot of money in rent, that by purchasing a home, they're really investing in themselves because they're building that equity. So their rent will probably even be more expensive than their mortgage would be moving to a place like this.
Wow. Wow. Well, you know, the Low Country is absolutely beautiful, and she is so worth the investment. Great things are happening here, and, you know, are just moving and transitioning in this area. And I believe that Charleston will be on the top of many people's list. So with that being said, guys, share with me. Camilla, we'll start with you. When did you realize that it was a good time to be you?
Well, it's always a good time to be you,
Yes,
but
yes.
right now it's a good time to be us, having moved to a new location, just getting married together and this partnership, and now we're partners in our career, and soon we'll have a family later on in life. So right now we're just really blessed in what God has given us
I love
in our life. So I'm just very happy and excited for what
Well,
the future has to hold.
It shows. It shows. And you know, Adam, a husband, when you break down that word, it means farmer. And so you can always tell how well you are taking care of your field by the reflection that's in your wife. And you are obviously taking very good care of loving her and working with her, because she is certainly beautiful and is just all aglow. So tell us, when was it a good time to be Adam?
So every day is a good time to be you. It's a new opportunity. And something I'd like to tell everyone is leaving that first responding role is definitely a big change, and something that we were kind of worried about. But if you have any kind of dreams or goals that you think you may want to go after, don't let those fears or anxieties get in the way, and to just go for it, because now we're in a great place and we're really happier than we've ever been.
Very profound and great words to live by. How about at the count of 3, we let our audience and our viewers know it's a good time to be you, okay? 1, 2, 3. It's a good time to be you. Hey everyone, to connect with Adam and Camilla Corson, just go to adam@explorecharlestonrealestate.com or camilla@explorecharlestonrealestate.com. You can also visit their website at explorecharlestonrealestate.com/Camilla. And remember, it's a good time to be you.